Hello guys, this is my first YouTube video. This is XCollectables. So as you could maybe tell from the YouTube channel name, this is going to be a channel dedicated to collectibles investing, primarily TCGs, trading card games. My name's Xavier, by the way. Nice to meet you all. And yeah, so this is going to be focusing on Pokemon investing and other TCGs. I will cover a fair bit of One Piece along the way as well. Um, so yeah, this is just a video to introduce myself, um, and this will also serve as a sort of channel to keep on top of the markets with you guys, help each other, give each other advice on the best plays. Um, and yes, just see how it goes. I don't expect this channel to blow up or anything, but if I even get 1,000 subs, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Um, so I guess, a background story of myself. I've been into the Pokemon. Well, I've known Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh growing up ever since I was a teenager. My my best friend, um, my first friend since moving to the UK, he got me into Pokemon, and I also got into Yu-Gi-Oh in secondary. I played the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG as a hobby for many years, um, and I was collecting Pokemon cards casually. Um, Unfortunately, most of those cards were not valuable at all, so I threw them away. To be fair, um, the but I guess the only good thing was I did get a sort of vintagey collection from someone who was a friend of my mother's, and but none of those cards. Well, they were I had some EX cards, but they weren't in good condition. They would get PSA zeros if I were to send them to grade. But yeah, that also reminds me, I will also be covering PSA submissions. I hope to get more involved in these over time, as hopefully my pre-grading is to a good standard, and PSA decides to give me some good grades. I'll keep submitting to them, and hopefully build up a PSA collection and show it to you guys. PSA unboxings. Uh, I'll go over how to grade cards with you guys. We'll go over grading plays. So that's also going to be part of this channel. But anyway, back to my backstory. So yeah, I grew up with these two hobbies since a young age, and that's how I got to know them. Um, and my and I in fact I didn't really play any Pokemon TCG especially specifically, but I did get into the Pokemon video game franchise. I was a Pokemon competitive player for quite a while. I loved I loved Pokemon battles. I was actually particularly quite good in this format called Battle Spot Singles back in the Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire days, and uh, I was consistently ranking in the top 10 in my country, which is the UK. So that's awesome. Played that for a long time. I was addicted. Then after the new games discontinued in the from when the new games discontinued from the DS, I just stopped playing. I didn't bother uh, buying and trying the new games anymore. It was be too time consuming to retain to retain the hobby. So, but anyway, how did I get into investing? Well, it's started off about 5 years ago, um, right around the Pokemon boom of 2020, COVID. Um, when suddenly people started to get nostalgic and going back to their childhood hobbies and just getting right back into Pokemon and collectibles because the economy was doing so bad. I got a lot of stimulus checks and people had to throw. Well, people are not patient with their money. A lot of people are not disciplined with their money. So what they're gonna do? They're gonna fling it to buying up Pokemon and ripping Pokemon, which each their own. But so that's probably what probably started the COVID pandemic run. Uh, Also, Logan Paul advertising the him opening the first edition base set booster box. Him ripping it and bringing awareness to the collectible space. So I guess those are the main two catalysts. But as that happened, I started to get really into just researching and seeing, could Pokemon become a legitimate generational asset class? And I was looking at the prices of the old products. They were going up in price. They were going up in price steadily over time. And what surprised me even more is that it turns out not only the vintage stuff was going up and people liked it, but the more modern product, 2019 onwards, was also very popular. And because a lot of people couldn't afford vintage, they decided to move to the more modern sets. And whether a Pokemon set is either in the modern or vintage category, it does well because people love modern product anyways. Um, Prime example, Evolving Skies, man. Um, I used to have six of those bad boys, but I sold four of them thinking there was going to be a reprint back in the day, and thank God I still held on to two of them. So I'm a proud owner of two of these beautiful boxes, and all what you can see is just a little part of my collection. Um, I'm hoping to build up a large Pokemon holding over time. I have a lot of faith in this asset, um, and if it wasn't for me knowing about Pokemon and growing up, in the TCG space, I would have never found out about uh, investing in Pokemon. So I'm very grateful that my childhood panned out to be how it went. Um, so that's how I am in the current position I am in. I hope to keep building on it. I have made a lot of mistakes along the way that we'll be talking about in future videos. So it wasn't all smooth sailing. I got into a lot of things. Um, Roughly at the same time, I got into Pokemon investing. Uh, I've always been my my plan is to, well, it might sound really foolish, but I don't really believe much. I don't have much faith in the old traditional investing methods. I'm personally I've got a pretty big risk appetite, and when I see something that I think is going to do really well in the future, I grab it with both hands, and I just take the risk and I go with it, man. I do my research. I take my calculated risks. I buy product that I think is going to do well at the price at a price I'm happy with, and if I think it has room and if I think it has room to grow, then I will just hold I will hold the product, wait for it to go up, and uh, sell some of that position to reinvest and keep growing my collection. So yeah, this was just an introduction about me and about the channel, and I'm hoping to upload quite frequently. To be fair, I've got a lot of topics I want to talk about, especially in the first couple of weeks. Um, there will be weekly market updates. There's gonna be um, a lot of weekly. There's gonna be at least 1 or 2 weekly videos uh, throughout the future of this channel, and yeah, I personally love Pokemon investing. I love Pokemon as a hobby, um, and I hope to see the hobby continue to grow and expand. And the more people that get into it, the better. Um, I know that a lot of people they're gonna consider a lot of hardcore Pokemon fans. They consider people like myself an evil investor, a scalper, all these terms. But I assure you, the fact that the only reason why we are in the state that we are now in the market is because Pokemon just can't simply print enough product for everyone. And I truly feel once that 2027 new facility um, is made and is running and operating mid 2020, well, sometime in 2027 onwards, I think the market is going to correct itself really healthily, if that's even a word. Oh, I'll just go with it. And I think there's going to be a lot of exciting opportunities for people to still enjoy the hobby from then on. But yeah, I've rambled way too long. Um, you know, I will, if I don't stop myself, I'll just ramble and ramble for hours. But anyway, that's enough for an introduction. Um, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video coming up real soon. Take care, guys. Peace.